Hi, I'm Rick Van Wieren from Remax Properties, and welcome to Rick on Real Estate. My special guest here today is Debbie Havens from Academy Mortgage. And Debbie, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
We are talking today about the lowdown on the no down, and what Debbie's going to talk to us about is how you buy a house without having that gold standard 20% down. And this is a really timely topic because we have a lot of buyers who have misconceptions about this.
Yes, that's very true. And there are many programs that will allow you to purchase a home with no down or maybe even only $1,000.
Yeah, that sounds great. So the no down is really VA, right? I mean, VA is the only true zero down program that's generally available.
That is correct. There are some VA programs, depending on how much they spend, that would have some down payment, but a majority of your VA loans are zero down.
Right. So then what's the next one up from that?
Well, you would
get out of zero.
Sure. Well, there is one more zero, which is the USDA 100% one-time close.
Oh.
So USDA is more for a rural development.
Okay.
And that's 100% financing.
Okay, interesting. So we have areas in the county that probably would qualify for that, and we might want to do a separate segment just on USDA loans.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We do have plenty of rural areas in El Paso County. So what's the next one after that?
The next one after that would be 3% down conventional. The 3% down conventional is majority for first-time home buyers.
Okay.
CHAFA, which we'll get into that a little bit later, does have a 3% down also program.
Okay, so there's a couple different ways to go with 3% down. Now, you'd mentioned $1,000 down. What's the $1,000 down?
The $1,000 is the Colorado Housing and Finance Authority program.
Okay.
They require
also called CHAFA.
Also called CHAFA. Yep. They require a $1,000 minimum investment into the program that you're doing.
And that's got to be your own money, right?
Yes,
that's
or it could be a gift. It could be a gift.
Mom and dad can give you that. Okay,
yep, grandma,
great.
grandpa, aunt, uncle, family member.
Okay, so families, listen up. You got a way to help your kids get into their first house if they aren't VA eligible.
And get out of your basement.
Yeah, there you go. So keep going with that one for me.
Okay, great. So CHAFA has many programs to choose from. You can do FHA, VA, or conventional.
Okay.
So what we do is we interview the client on what their objective and goals are for home ownership and see what fits best for them based on credit score, ratios, down payment requirement, programs, and what their objective and what their goals are is how we target what program we'll look at.
Okay. And so what happens, what do you have beyond CHAFA, I guess you could say?
So there's also of course, FHA requires 3.5% down.
Yeah.
And then there's also the El Paso County Bond Program, which is called Turnkey.
Yeah.
Now that has a 4% grant that you do not have to pay back.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You're telling me that the government will give a buyer 4% for a gift, basically, a grant?
Even better, it doesn't come from the government. It comes from that bond program where these investors and programs are generating, some of them are tax-free bonds, so investors invest in tax-free bonds, and then that money comes back to be able to get sustainable home ownership in the state of Colorado.
Wow.
So CHAFA is not part of a government entity, and again, that's Colorado Housing and Finance Authority. They have a 4% grant or a 5% down payment assistance. You pay it back later, 30 years if you stay in your home 30 years. However, it accumulates 0% interest. So it's a nice way to get in. If you only need 3.5% down, then you can use the other 1.5% for your closing cost and prepaids.
So are there income limits or any other kind of constraints on those programs, or can anybody use those?
There are income limits, but some programs go as high as over $100,000. So a lot of times the misnomer is, oh, those are low income, or, for maybe people that have really bad credit, and that is not the case. We have done many programs where clients have over 700 credit scores, and they can do that program, and they're still making $100,000 a year.
Nice.
It goes off household size. 1 to 2 is a lower bracket. 3 or greater is a higher bracket.
Okay, so they can make more if they got more kids.
That's right.
Okay, so have big families, it really helps.
Yep, one in the oven. The bun in the oven does not count. They have to be out of the oven.
So then what about purchase price? Are there constraints on the purchase price for these programs?
There's not. You can go all the way up to a $453,100 on conventional or VA.
Wow.
And then on FHA, it's $304,750.
Okay.
You'll remember back in the day where FHA's minimum or maximum loan amount was $145,000. $305,000 in El Paso County.
Yeah, I
That was
know.
crazy. And now it's $304,750.
Which is just about at our median price. The median price last month was $305,750. So
Yeah.
very close to
Yeah.
that. So half the inventory in the county is actually
Yeah,
available.
you have to have a 620 or greater credit score to do the CHAFA program, 640 for El Paso County bond.
Okay.
There also are some ratio requirements that have to be met.
Okay.
However, you can exceed a ratio normal than what the guideline is if you can get it through the approved eligible on an automated underwriting system.
Oh, wow. So then talk to me about the mortgage insurance issues with
yeah.
FHA, because I know there is mortgage insurance with conventional that can be can disappear after a while, but on FHA that's a lifetime thing, right?
It is, depending on your down payment. If you were putting more down on FHA, 10% or greater, then the mortgage insurance can be, after like 7 years or so, dropped off.
Okay.
However, if you're going FHA, you're probably not going to be putting 10% down. You would be more in a conventional program.
Gotcha.
So mortgage insurance is a premium that protects the investor against default.
Right.
Anybody who has less than 20% down is subject to mortgage insurance unless they go with a program that doesn't have it.
Gotcha. So then what about rates on all these things? If I think Bank Rate was saying that the national average at the moment is like 4 3/4 or something in that ballpark.
Was that recent where you saw that? Because
Within the last week anyway.
Okay,
but
yeah, the
I know
last couple days
money markets have been moving a lot.
The last couple days rates have ticked up a little bit.
Yep.
And so these are all still super attractive interest rates that are in the 5% category, where our rates now are where rates were in 2011.
Right.
So they're still doing super great.
So for these programs that have no down payment, obviously there's mortgage insurance is extra, and then is the rate also a little higher on those
It
programs?
can be,
Okay.
depending on the program and
Okay.
depending on the credit score.
Gotcha.
So on a non-CHAFA loan, if someone scores lower, their rate could be higher. However, if we go to CHAFA, it might have a lower interest rate because their rate is what it is no matter what the score is,
Gotcha.
as long as it's above 620.
Gotcha.
Mortgage insurance, MIP for FHA, mortgage insurance premium, and then conventional has PMI, private mortgage insurance.
Right.
But there are programs that are available. CHAFA, 3% down, 680 greater FICO, no mortgage insurance.
Wow, nice. Well, you can see that there's a lot of subtleties to these programs, and that's one of the reasons we recommend working with a knowledgeable local lender that really knows the ins and outs
Thanks.
of these programs. And Debbie and her crew just do a great job. Thanks so much for joining us today, and thank you for joining us on Rick on Real Estate, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.